guys, and welcome back to the channel. I am Sabira, aka Saabythesimmer. I hope you're doing well this Tuesday. Happy New Year. So you're back with a speed build this year. I don't know how long you can say Happy New Year for. It is currently the 10th, so yeah, I don't know if I've passed that time to be saying it, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's still the new year and this is the first video back since I've taken the break during the holidays and yeah, just some time in the new year as well. But yeah, I was challenged. Hungry Cow Plant, also known as Connor. You should definitely check them out as well. They make some Sims content on YouTube's. They challenged me to do a 8 Sim starter home, and honestly, this took me so long to do, like get around to doing, because I just thought it was going to be really difficult to do, and I thought I was going to struggle a lot, and I just thought I don't normally do budget like conscious builds. I just build however I want. I don't do a lot of starter homes and things like that, so it was difficult to think about how I'm going to approach this or how I'm going to tackle a starter home, but for 8 Sims. So if you don't already know the game and the Sims and how things work, when you go into a fresh game or just go into your game generally, every Sim starts out with starter funds, and normally a single Sim will start with 20,000 simoleons. But if you have more Sims in your household, you get more starter funds. So with 8 Sims, you're looking at 32,000 as a starter fund. So that's the budget I worked with for this build, and I had to try and figure out how I'm going to fit 8 Sims into a house that was relatively small, but also, I mean, it's not a small home, but it's small enough for you to like expand on if you have more money, add in a second floor possibly. Like, yeah, there's room to expand. But if for whatever reason you want to start a save of 8 Sims, I mean, I prefer, like, I'm very much a family gamer, like family gameplay kind of person when it comes to Sims. I love a legacy. I love playing family households. So I don't normally start off with a lot of Sims. I normally start with 1 Sim. They might have like background in terms of like they might have parents and maybe siblings, but I tend to just focus on 1 Sim and play with 1 Sim, and then kind of just build up their legacy from there. So I don't normally start with a huge amount of Sims. So 8 Sims to start with is crazy. But you might not want this 8 Sim starter home because you're starting with 8 Sims. You might want it because you want to grow into a home for 8 Sims. So yeah, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. I can't get my words out. Look guys, it's my first voiceover since I've been back, so it's going to be a bit all over the place, but it depends on what you want out of the game or what you're planning to do with this build, if you want this build. But I decorated it for grandparents, a couple, and then a teen, 2 children and a toddler. So I tried to get in at least every life stage involved in this build, because I felt like, you know, depending on what you want to use it for, there's literally room for everyone. There's room for another couple. Maybe you have like siblings living together and then they have their own children and they can fit it into this house as well, which, like I said, I don't normally start off with like a lot of Sims, but recently in like some gameplay I'm doing, I've moved my Sim's sister in with their child, so I currently have a full house. So the Sims I'm playing with, they're a couple, they're married, and they have 4 children altogether. The last child was unplanned, but it's fine. They have 4 children altogether, and then the sister is living by themselves with their child. So I thought, you know what, we'll move the sister in, I'll build them a nice big house. So that's what I'm currently playing with. So I do have like 8 Sims living in the house right at the moment, but that wasn't necessarily like my intention. So it's interesting to play with a full house. It's interesting to play with so many Sims and like being in control of so many Sims. It's quite interesting. It's a lot to handle. So if you want to play with 8 Sims, like, more power to you, because it is a lot to like focus on so many Sims at once. But here we are, we're doing it. But yes, how I kind of approached this was I was just gonna create the shell, decorate the shell, obviously a bunch of debug. As you can see, I'm using a bunch of debug fences and landscaping. I found these fences, and for some reason I don't think I've ever noticed the fact that you can change the swatch. I don't know why I've never noticed that before, but once I realized I could change the swatch, I was happy, because I thought the little white fence looked really cute. And then I've used some like wood planks from the debug menu again to kind of like line up the hedges I've got around it. I kept the landscaping very, very simple, very minimal, just because I didn't really know what landscaping to go with, but I kind of like the idea of just being very minimal. Maybe it's like a new home that they've just purchased. Maybe it's not a new home in terms of like it wasn't built recently, but it's a newly purchased home, so they've kind of gone in and probably like weeded out the whole front garden and things like that. So it's just kind of a blank canvas for them, maybe to add their own plants and things like that, which I never think of doing in my saves, like going into the front garden and like maybe like adding in some like flowers and harvestables just to give it a cute kind of like realistic look of like you would plant things in your front garden as well. I always just plant things in the back garden. But yeah, anyway, as you would see, I had this room that just had a bunch of items in it. So what I did was, to make it easier for myself, I pulled out all the items I'm going to need. So I know I'm going to need beds, enough beds for 8 Sims. I know I'm going to need enough bathrooms for 8 Sims. For me, when it comes to like playing the game, because I play the game, it's very important for me to have enough bathrooms, because I just hate having my Sims having to wait around to use a bathroom because someone else is in it. So for me, I just knew I needed to have enough bathrooms for 8 Sims. I mean, are we really gonna have enough bathrooms for 8 Sims? Probably not in a starter home, but I did what I could. So I believe there's 3 bathrooms. So I'm looking at the post in the gallery now. So it's a 30 by 20 lot. There's 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, and it is literally like 32k. So no, 31,000. So you don't have much change left over. Like, I know when EA don't do their starter homes, like you're left with some money afterwards, which I kind of like, because then you're able to like redo the house at least to some degree. But I kind of like the idea. I kind of feel like if you're going into a game with 8 Sims, or maybe you're starting out this save and you only got 1 Sim, however you start the game, I think it's kind of like a fun challenge to kind of have to rack up the money to be able to pay bills and things like that. So basically you go into save and you do have to get to work straight away because literally those bills are going to come very quickly. So yeah, apologies for that. I didn't leave much change afterwards. But yeah, what I did was I pulled out all the essentials, the bathroom, the bathroom items, the appliances for the kitchens, and the beds. That's all I pulled out, just to make sure I had those at least. And then I decided on what packs I was going to use, because I thought I was originally going to go with just base game, but then I was like, you know what, that's going to be a bit of a struggle because I don't know, like base game builds on a budget, it's a lot of work, and also it just limits on the cost, because like some of the base game items are very expensive, and so I didn't want to have to skimp out on certain things. And the thing with starter homes as well, like they're very bare. So I didn't want this to be like a super bare home. I wanted it to feel like there's some details or some decorations in this house. So I did try to add in some decorations and like make it look a bit more like lived in and a bit more cozy. But at the same time, I didn't have a lot of space to work with, so I just did what I could. So we have a bathroom, like a full bathroom next to the kitchen. Then there's a half bathroom as you enter the house, and then there's another full bathroom, which I believe I've made into like a Jack and Jill. We've got the 2 bedrooms opposite sides. I can't remember if I added in a door or if I thought that was money that I could have saved. I can't remember if I made it. I think it is a Jack and Jill. I think it is. So you can get to the bathroom from the teens room, and also the room that's got the 2 children and the toddler bed in. So I don't know how comfortable it is to have like 2 children and a toddler share a bedroom. I mean, in, you know, real life that could probably happen, and I feel like it's kind of like a cute kind of thing to have your 2 children and a toddler share a room. But I just think it's gonna probably get a bit cramped after a while, and once that toddler becomes a child, you got 3 children in one room. It's probably a bit tight, bit of a squeeze, but yeah, it depends on how you play your game, to be fair. So the packs that I used was Cats and Dogs, Dream Home Decorator, Tiny Living Stuff Pack, and the Everyday Clutter Kit. So I decided to go with 1 expansion, 1 game pack, 1 stuff pack, and 1 kit, just to make it real simple, so that if you do want this build, it's like easy to download. And I tried to use packs that people will probably have. That I don't think a lot of people would have the Everyday Clutter kits. I don't think everyone's a fan of kits, and it might not be something that you have. So because it's just clutter, there's nothing that you'd really be missing out on. It's just little details to make the house feel a bit more lived in. But realistically, like, you're not going to miss out on anything when it comes to like certain kits. I think the clutter kit mainly, but when it comes to like, other kits, maybe like the Decor to the Max, there's a bit more like there's actual furniture on it, so things like that might be missing. But I didn't use that pack, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, so we've got the grandparents' room that I just did, and then this is the little half bathroom. I tried to squeeze in a shower as well, because I just think the more bath showers I can fit in, the better. But it didn't work out. So one of the bathrooms just has a tub, and then the other bathroom I believe has a shower tub combo. So I tried my best to like fit in enough so that if your Sims just need to go to the toilet, but your other Sim at the time needs to shower, like there's room to do that. Okay, yeah, I did do a Jack and Jill. Cool, noted. I really struggled with the living space. Like everywhere else was pretty easy to decorate and add items in, but I really just struggled with the living room space because it was just an awkward space. There wasn't that many walls. Like I kind of compromised on walls and I said, you know what, we can delete a few walls and just have it kind of like open plan, and that can save a bit of money. And I just felt like it made it harder to like have walls to like put up a TV and things like that. But I think I made it work. It's a bit of a tight squeeze, but it all functions well, all works well. So there's that. But that's pretty much like all I can really speak about with the build. Like you're gonna see it all come together, like the child's room, the teen's room. I think my favorite room is probably the dining area, which I think I normally like a kitchen or a dining area, or maybe like a teen's room. Like children's rooms are so much easier to decorate than it is like when it comes to like other people's rooms. Sorry about my sister like laughing in the background. I don't know what she's doing. I probably could have like probably not done 2 rugs. I think adding like extra rugs and things like that might have been pushing it a bit, but I just wanted the house to feel cozy and I wanted it to feel nice. So there are some things you probably could like get rid of and have a bit more change. So feel free to be like, I'm just gonna get rid of a spare rug or whatever the case may be, because we don't need it and we need the money more. But yeah, I was on Reddit last night, was it? I was just scrolling through Reddit and just seeing what's on there. I think I was just looking for like build inspiration and just maybe things that people have asked for quite frequently, and thinking about how I can probably build that and stuff like that. Not that people have asked me directly on Reddit, but just like a look on Reddit posts and The Sims and stuff. And someone mentioned that they're new to the game and they don't really like playing with 2-story homes. So this is a 1-story home in itself, but I was thinking I might do some more 1-story homes. So I won't do like loads. It's not going to become like a whole series, but I was thinking I just might bear that in mind a bit more. So do let me know in the comments if you prefer playing in like 1-story homes or 2-story homes, if you don't mind. I know some people complain about like having garages in builds because they're just like, we don't have functional cars, why would we have a garage? But I really like a garage space because you can put all the stuff in that you don't really want in your main part of the house. So like in the save that I'm playing with, my garage has like a Christmas tree in it, so like it's just kind of a bit realistic, like you would store the Christmas tree probably in your garage or attic or whatever. And I've got like gym equipment in there, so I just kind of use it as skill building or like a space where I can put extra items that I don't have space for somewhere else. So I like a garage, but I know some people don't like it because they feel like it could be a bit useless or whatever the case may be, or like it just doesn't serve much of a purpose. So do let me know if you prefer 1-story, 2-story homes. I'm thinking of doing a build where I do like a set of like Airbnb homes. My sister made me watch some, I think it's called Barbarian or something like that. I can't remember. It was a film that was on Disney Plus, I believe. And I watched it and I was like, what a load of, like, I'm not a horror kind of film person, so it did, like, I wouldn't say scared me, but it was uncomfortable to watch because I was like, what is happening here? What is this? But anyway, it's this woman that goes into this Airbnb, but it's already been booked by someone else, and then they end up finding like these like trap doors, essentially. Is it trap doors or just like hidden doors in their basement? And then there's like someone who goes around chasing them, and yeah, it was a lot. But I mean, that's not really the inspiration I wanted, but I did get inspired to build like a row of homes that could be used as like Airbnbs or like rentals in the game. So I was thinking of doing something like that. So maybe you could have like Sims come and stay, and they all have like, maybe you have a family and they all have their own kind of like rooms, not rooms, but own little homes to stay in during the holiday. I kind of like the concept of that, so I think that's something I'm going to be working on. I finished a base game in Desert Lux build recently, so I'm in the process of editing that. I also filmed Family Dynamics Challenge yesterday, so I'm gonna edit that today so I can get that out for Thursday's video. And yeah, I think that's all that I've like got planned so far. I've got the Nuke and Nuke Crest build that I finally finished. It took me so long to finish that build, but that's finally getting finished. Well, no, it's finished already. Sorry, I've just got to finish editing that. But yeah, adding in little details here and there into this house. But I'm excited for the content and things that I'm going to do differently this year. Well, not necessarily differently, but like anything that I get inspired by or want to try in the game and building wise and just gameplay wise, like I'm excited for that. I don't normally get excited for the New Year's. I won't lie to you guys. Like New Year's are just, I'm definitely feeling the January blues. Like it's a real struggle right now to even do anything. So but I knew I wanted to like stick to my word of like coming back with the content today, because I was so tempted to be like, guys, I'm gonna push back the video, even though all I had to do was the voiceover for this video. But I just was like, I'm in a bit of a funk right now. But I know it's kind of that New Year funk where you're just a bit like, you feel like there's so much to do or there's so much you want to accomplish, but you're just not sure about how to go about it. And then you kind of just get a bit like anxious about it. I know for me anyway, I get really anxious about the new year and just all the things that I want to achieve and all the things I want to do, but not having a real clear idea of what that looks like or what I need to do to get there. So yeah, I'm a bit stressed. Just a bit stressed. I had a job interview yesterday as well, and like I just job hunting anyway is stressful because I just feel like everything's on kind of pause until I'm like employed at the moment, and it just it's a bit of a struggle. I think I was like chatting to my siblings about it, and I was like, when you've based your whole kind of like value on like your labor or what you do for other people or how productive you are, it is very hard to feel good about yourself when you're in a space where you're not doing much. Because as much as I enjoy doing this content, and I genuinely wanted to do it because I enjoyed watching other people create content and I wanted to do it, especially like Sims content. I've created content before, but I wanted to create Sims content as well, and it was generally just because I wanted to have something. I was spending so much time in The Sims anyway, I was like, I might as well film it and like put out content as well, because I kind of missed creating content generally and I enjoy The Sims. So I knew I wanted to do something anyway, but it's just not the same. I don't know. I think because this for me is more so something I can just enjoy doing, and whereas when it comes to like, I don't know if I wouldn't say that I don't feel productive doing Sims videos. Like that's not the truth, because I definitely feel productive when I have to like film and edit. Like I'm just in my zone when I'm like filming videos and editing videos. Like I really get in the zone. I really enjoy the whole process of all of it coming together, seeing a build come together, start like watching myself edit, like watching myself build and like editing it back and being like, wow, what a process. But yeah, I don't know, it's just different when you've kind of based your whole value on like, what are you doing? And it's kind of hard to take a step back and be like, okay, without everything else I'm doing, like even if I wasn't creating content, if I wasn't creating Sims content, like I should still, you know, value myself essentially, or like still believe that I have value, as opposed to being like, well, if I'm not doing anything, I don't feel good about myself, you know? So I'm just like challenging myself now to kind of like, I don't know if I should say like be in the moment, but I'm kind of challenging myself to be like easier on myself. Because I feel like we're all our worst like critics. Like we criticize ourselves the most. So I'm trying not to do that as harshly, because I think I just need to give myself grace. The past couple of years have been a lot, and I know I don't handle change very well, but I think the past couple of years has really has really made me realize how much I don't handle change very well, and it's just a matter of figuring out what to do now that I know this information. Like now that I know I don't handle change very well, what am I going to do to ensure that when change happens, I'm not kind of like just like, I don't know, like paralyzed by it essentially, or like in a state of like pause because of it. Because honestly, when things happen and I feel like I'm kind of out of control, I just need the world to stop. Like I just need everything to stop so I can like get my bearings. But you quickly realize that nothing stops. Like nothing stops for you, and you just like, I think this is like the revelation of just like being an adult, and what you realize, like nothing stops for you. Like everything still carries on, and you still gotta do what you gotta do. And I think that in itself is kind of like, I mean, it's real life, but it's also kind of sad, because I'm like, can I catch a breath, please? Like, can I get a break? But yeah, like I said, it is part of life, and it's a matter of like me trying to figure out, okay, how am I gonna handle this? Like, I know this is part of life. Now I have this information. What do I do with it? So yeah, it's been a crazy couple of years, and I think I've learned a lot about myself. But it's just a matter of like, what do I do with that information now? Like now I know, what do I do? Like, do you ever like notice something about yourself or learn something about yourself and be like, okay, now what do I do with this information? Like, what does this really tell me? Some things probably don't need to be that deep. Maybe it's just a matter of like, I know this now and that's about it. But I don't know. I'm a bit of an overthinker, so I do kind of think about things like, what does this mean for me? So yeah. But I really enjoyed the way the garden turned out. Like, it's very minimal. I put the cards table outside because I don't know, I just wanted some other kind of like functional thing to do, because I felt like this garden was very, very bare. And I pretty much like rambled through the whole of the build, so screenshots are coming. If you do want this build, it is up on the gallery. My gallery ID is Saabythesimmer. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this speed build. And if you did, give it a like and leave a comment. And I'll see you on Thursday for a new video. Take care, guys. Bye.